There's this concept that life isn't fair, and it's not. But sometimes we think that the laws of physics don't work because we see this unfairness, but we don't see the whole picture. We go out to a potluck or something, and you see someone who's fit and who's trim, just loading up their plate with everything, and they're like, how do they eat like that and stay slim? And how come I went and got a salad and I'm packing on the pounds? And you think there's something wrong with you. You're not broken, and you didn't fail. And you do have discipline and you do have willpower. Look at everything else in your life. Trust me, it's there. The difference is we all have different bodies. Hormones and all of those things, they're not what make you fat, but they can be the driver of behaviors that lead you to burn less calories. I remember talking to this really sweet girl, and she said something about like, yeah, I have a hard time sitting still. I'm always getting up and I'm always doing stuff. And she was one of those naturally skinny young ladies. And as I'm listening to her, I don't know why, but it just filed away in my mind. And as I'm learning more about how our hormones affect our weight, our hunger, and all those things, her system is telling her what to do properly. She can do all those things because she's naturally has the energy and doesn't have to force herself to do anything. She naturally eats to the maintenance level of a very trim weight. But not everyone is born with the hunger and fullness signals that will keep them at a healthy weight. Some people have to work at it. And we can sit there and say it's not fair, but there's so much in the world that isn't fair. And if weight is your biggest thing that you're worried about and you got somewhere to live, your family is safe and healthy, you got two legs, quit whining about things not being fair. There's so just stop it, okay? I want you to turn on the attitude of gratitude and then look to your own body and say, what do I need to do to take care of my body intentionally? Because I have to be intentional. I personally have to be intentional with my body and what I eat and how I move it because I was not born with the natural tendencies to do everything intuitively in a way that would keep me at a healthy weight. But feelings aren't facts. I can go and I can study the science and I can treat my body the way I know it needs despite feelings. I can go and I can research what does my body need. My body does need calories. I'm not going to fast. My body needs protein. I'm going to get protein. I can go and look up my base metabolic rate for my age, my height, my size, and get a pretty rough base estimate. And then I can intentionally be active because I'm not naturally active. Okay, how many of you would rather sit around and binge on Netflix instead of going for a walk? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. But we don't have to go and binge on Netflix instead of going for a walk. We can get a walking pad and binge on Netflix while going for a walk. Isn't technology amazing? So I really want you to shift your mindset and your focus to understanding some people do things intuitively and naturally and they have the energy and they're not overly hungry and their body tells them to stop eating at the right times in order to keep their weight fit. But some of us don't, but it doesn't mean we don't have a choice. We still can choose to go and count our calories and measure everything out and enjoy the daylights out of our food. Now that I'm counting my calories, I feel like I'm eating more than before when I just tried to not eat very much. And it's been quite the revelation that I can be full and satisfied by being intentional with my eating choices through knowing exactly what is in my food and feeling full and satisfied versus before just trying to eat the tiniest amounts of things but not really knowing or understanding what was in it I never actually got full. I would just try and stave off hunger by eating tiny amounts. And then I gained weight and I'm like, oh, it's my body, it's all these things because I believed lie after lie after lie. It's okay that the world's not fair because you know what? You probably have stuff another person like they wish they were you. They wish they had your life. They wish they had your body. There's very few people in this world who someone is not going to look at and say, "Wow, I wish I had what she had." Wow, they have a place to live. They have a home. They have a car. They have a newer car. Someone out there is looking to the stuff that you're not even grateful for, wishing they had it. So let's just be grateful for the tools that we have because now, in this day and age, we have fitness trackers. We can use AI to help us track our food with just saying, just the simplest prompts. Hey, I just had my morning coffee with 5 ounces of Fairlife 2% milk. And AI says, logged it. I don't have to even go to my fitness pal. I don't have to do any of those things. I can be intentional about what I eat in the body that I have been given, and I can enjoy it and I can get full. So let's stop focusing on what's not fair of other people that are naturally energetic. We can still get up and we can do things. Start where you are. Don't overdo it. Be careful. It's better to do lower levels of things that don't risk injury and work your way up to higher things. So go ahead and do that. But you just start controlling the things you can. The whole diet culture eating thing gets a lot of flack because there's a lot of mental health issues around food, and eating disorders are a real thing. And maybe someone has a life that is completely out of control and they get an eating disorder controlling their food because it's the only thing in their life that they do control. But that doesn't mean that being very intentional about controlling your calories is not a good and healthy thing for you to do because it might be what you need to do. Maybe in the future, you could work into something where you understand the servings and you know it and it's become habit. But if we just focus on the fact that it's not fair that my brain doesn't automatically make good choices, we're giving our power away. We have so much more power than we realize. And I want you to know that you do have the power to lose weight. Weight loss is not some vague, ethereal concept that some people are like, what did they do? What did they not do? Anyone who has lost weight has done it because of a calorie deficit. Unless you're thinking crazy things about chopping off a limb or yeah, you'll lose some weight. That's not what we're talking about here. You have the power to control your intake by using tools that are available to you to measure it to eat a certain amount of calories. And you also have the choice and the power for yourself to be intentional about your movement, to make a step goal, to go and to lift weights to make sure that you get strong and you stay strong so that you can protect your muscle as you lose weight. You're so much more in control and powerful over what's going on in you than you've ever been told. If you've been told, sorry, I've got Okay, you know what? Let me just share with you. I have PCOS. I have insulin resistance. I have thyroid issues. I have a paralyzed esophagus. And guess what's easy to eat? Junk. I could eat crackers and chips all day long and just gain weight and gain weight and gain weight. And I'm having to be intentional because I can't just go and be like, oh, chicken breast works good and go eat a bunch of that because I don't know if I'm going to be able to have it get into my stomach. I don't know. So be thankful there. I've gone for, at one time, it was for 4 months. I wasn't even able to eat solid food. And maybe that's why I'm so grateful and thankful for the things that I can eat now. Even if I have to be more careful with the solids and I have more protein drinks and yogurt and cottage cheese. And well, we should all have more yogurt and cottage cheese in our lives on our fitness journeys, right? My family on my mother's side struggled with see, my grandfather was diabetic, my great grandmother was diabetic, my sister is diabetic, my uncle was diabetic before he passed away. He was 600 pounds and he lost 200 pounds at one point and no one even noticed. So if no one notices your weight loss, it's okay. It's all right. It's awkward to talk about your weight loss, anyways. But I really want you to know that you do have control. You do have power. In this day and age, technology makes it so easy. I I track everything, and I've learned, and I'm going to share this with you. All of the things that make it easy. That first month was really mentally draining. You know what? I'm going to talk about that in the next video. So I hope that you stay with me on this journey. I challenge you to spend a day tracking your calories or just a meal, just a snack. Get a scale and just try it and just start really understanding what's in your food because that's the first step. Then you can make better choices because you know what's in there. All right, I love you guys. Next video, we're gonna nail it. Love you guys. Bye. Oh, did it work? It didn't work. Oh, press the button again.